Hello everybody, my name is Shamir. I am Indian, or my parents are Indian. They went through a history of leaving the country of their ancestors. I was born in Singapore and raised in Austria. So kind of my family background has been nomadic to some extent already. I was raised in Austria, enjoyed a beautiful time there. At some point when I was 18, I felt like the calling to leave Austria and travel the world, but at that time it didn't happen at all. I had like family ties and other ties pulling me back, and had to release certain structures within myself, certain karmic structures, ancestral structures. That's what it feels to me. And then at some point I felt really settled in Austria and felt, wow, I'm gonna lead my next 20, 30 years, live my life there. But then suddenly I traveled on a holiday to Bali, and Bali just grabbed me and it didn't let me go for a while. It invited me actually, and I came here, left everything in Austria because I felt very much at home here and felt that what I offer to the world will be very well received here, and that's how it turned out. So I'm here now and sharing my offerings, my service, and my gift, supporting people in their healing journeys. So what I also had to do in Austria was to study some of these healing modalities. I studied physiotherapy. After that, I studied different physical and energetic healing modalities. And from this time, I actually wanted to leave Austria. A holistic approach to life became like my goal, my dedication. And since then, I've been researching on that, evolving, experimenting, being challenged. Life has been unfolding in a lot of difficult situations as well, a lot of beautiful situations, and right now I feel very blessed to feel aligned with my inner truth, my inner wisdom, and really aligned with what I'm here to share with the world, with my offerings. I'm very grateful for that.
And how long ago was it when you first came to Bali?
Oh, it was nearly 2 years ago. Actually, I was working as a physiotherapist in Austria in a children's hospital. I'd quit my job because I felt hospital is not the right environment for me, definitely. But there were some stories from previously that I just had to allow to transform. So I quit my job and came on a holiday to Bali. Initially, I wanted to travel to Singapore because that was the land I was born in. But I hadn't visited Singapore for many years, so I felt now it's time for me to visit. And then I looked at the globe and said, oh, maybe Bali is a nice place to do a holiday. And so, nearly 2 years ago, I came here on a holiday and felt at home right away. Not only by the Balinese culture, which is a Hindu culture, Hindu tradition, which is aligned with my ancestors. And I also dedicated myself to a Hindu tradition for quite a while, very intense. So that made me feel at home. Also the climate, nature and environment is really nourishing for my body. But then also Ubud, the village of Ubud and the community of people here welcomed me, and I felt I can be who I am without being judged, without needing to justify myself very easily, which allowed my inner truth, my potential to blossom and to flourish. And so, through an invitation, I left everything in Austria and moved here. There have been challenging times, but at the same time, so beautiful times. And the whole process also was a deep transformational and learning process for myself, to learn to let go of my expectations, of my longings, and allow the support of the universe to just carry me to what I'm meant to do.
Well, if you would, could you talk a little bit about what some of those challenges were and how you met them, how you worked through them? There's probably other people who either currently or if they're going to pursue this lifestyle will come up against some challenges when you leave home and go out into the world.
Oh yeah, for sure. Challenges, as I was raised and lived nearly all of my life in Austria, yeah, which is a very Western society, very structured. Everything works perfectly, everything is in time. Yeah, I was used to that, and that's also the way I function or used to function. It's shifting now. So in that way, definitely one of the challenges was to allow things to have their natural, more feminine flow instead of really nailing it down to here and now and then, but letting go of these expectations that things have to happen exactly how I want them to happen, and especially when I want them to happen. And I experienced that the more I could let go of my expectations, the more actually what my heart was longing for was just fulfilled naturally. So, in terms of having intentions and sending them out to the universe, but not holding on to them, I want it now, I want it to be, but just allowing the universe to reflect it back in the right moment, in the right place. Yeah, that definitely was my biggest challenge.
Yeah, it can be a challenge if you come with preconceived notions of timing and how things should go. Bali will take care of those pretty quickly, won't it?
Oh yes, very quickly. Like really, yeah, I needed to allow myself to just take time for myself and nourish myself instead of functioning and getting things done. Yeah, really taking care of my health on a mental, physical, emotional, energetic, and spiritual level, and my wealth as well in that way. And aligning myself with this inner well being and inner truth, suddenly life takes care.
What are some of the things you find attractive about your new lifestyle?
What I find attractive about my new lifestyle definitely is like Bali has become my home base. But as the whole world meets here in Bali, the world has opened up for me since I've come here, meaning I'm making more and more connections with people from other places on the planet, receiving invitations to travel to different places, sharing my offerings, my teachings, my work. And that is something very nourishing for me because I enjoy experiencing different cultures, seeing other parts of the world, but at the same time, I don't feel like I want to be classic tourist doing sightseeing, but I want to share what I have to give to the world. And in that way, Bali was very beautiful, welcoming, and allowing me to branch out on this globe. So that definitely is very special for me, what I really enjoy. At the same time, as I mentioned before already, I can really be who I am. As the Hindu culture is very present here on Bali, and this Hindu culture is aligned with my inner truth, my perspectives on life, I can naturally be and flow as I am without needing to justify myself. Whereas, for example, in Austria, I was always, asked questions. Why do you do this? Are you sure? I was kind of judged. Somehow I had the permission to be so because they realized, okay, my ancestors are from India and okay, he can be a little bit different. But here, you know, everyone is individual and everyone is different, and at the same time, everyone is the same. And just allowing myself to be that on all levels, meaning, I have certain preferences on my food, on my diet, certain preferences on the way I interact with people, on the way that I communicate, and just sharing that authentically and freely is definitely a gift that I've received in Bali, or the possibility to do so is the gift. Yeah. And learning that then I can carry this awareness, this state, wherever I go, because I really learned and experienced my authenticity and my strengths by not needing to defend myself and putting up barriers.
So, and are you finding that you're being supported financially and otherwise, being sustained?
Oh yes, I definitely feel very blessed in that way. That was also one of the challenges here at the beginning, finding my way to be supported financially. But this community here in Ubud, and I'm feeling and experiencing it that there are many places in the world where such kind of communities exist, are very supportive in ways of people are doing a lot of different projects here, and there is a place for everyone to fit in to one, two, three of these projects, or even create his or her own project, which will support them financially in abundance to share authentically what one is, and also receive financial support, because that's what we need, of course, to survive and live a life here. Yeah. And so in that ways it has been very supportive financially. Like I'm sharing my work in one-on-one healing sessions from the place that I live at, but at the same time I'm invited to retreats and yoga teacher trainings to introduce my work, and so people can book sessions with me. Now more and more I'm invited to retreats and yoga teacher trainings to do teachings of what I've studied and what I know and what I can share. And I'm stepping also into teaching workshops and classes for people to experience this freedom within on a physical, mental, and emotional level. So in that way, it not only has been supportive for me, of okay, that's how it can go, that's how it can flow, but it also has kind of allowed me to blossom and to flourish into new levels of what I have to share and what I have to offer. And I have the feeling, I just can compare it probably with Austria. In that environment, it would have been more challenging to step up to that. And here, through the community, it was just like, come on, let's take each other's hands and let's do this together, because together we are stronger and can achieve much more.
What are some of the most important skills or abilities that you've developed that enabled you to live this kind of lifestyle?
Skills and abilities. I think a major thing that I have learned was to let go of everything that suppresses my skills and abilities. And I believe that everyone has these talents to share, gifts and abilities. but because of society, ancestors, education, experiences in life, we just don't give ourselves permission to access these skills and abilities. So definitely, as I said, since I was 18, like this holistic approach to life has been my dedication. So within these years, I've learned about my qualities and skills, and also learned to let go of what is holding me back from them. And if I speak about my sharing, my offering, it's definitely a sensitivity towards the physical, emotional, and energetic beings of humans. It is definitely compassion and allowing myself to hold a compassionate space for myself, and also sharing this compassionate space in the treatments, in the sessions that I do with people. And within these sessions, I work with different modalities, like it's a wide range from physical to energetic modalities.
Can you explain a little bit more specifically what some of those modalities might be?
Yes, of course. So as I studied physiotherapy, is a wide range of physical modalities that I work with, which is like deep tissue work on the musculoskeletal system, which is also gentle adjustments of the vertebra and the joints within the body. I also do a lot of work on scars, physical scars, which also are scarrings in the energetic body. I do lymphatic drainage, which supports detoxification of the body. I work with the craniosacral mechanism, which is a very gentle approach on working with the network of connective tissue and the liquid field of the body, balancing out this field within, which has very deep effects on our physical levels, but also mental and emotional effects. I use theta healing in my work, which is an energetic modality tuning into belief patterns and belief structures that we are holding on to, which don't serve us, which don't allow our highest well-being to be and our authentic potential to shine. It's maybe similar to hypnotherapy, so it's about releasing beliefs that don't serve us and integrating beliefs that really nourish and support us. I've started using essential oils in my work, which add another aspect of magic into the journeys that happen. In my work with groups, what I feel like creating and what I have been creating is sharing openings on awareness, mainly through the physical body, because our conception of the world of most human beings, let's say it that way, mainly happens on a mental plane in our thought process, but much more awareness, much more consciousness lies within our physical body and within our energetic and emotional body. So in my work that I share in group settings, I support people to access this awareness within the physical body in different ways, by awakening the sensation of touch within the hands. Just recently I did a workshop on a soul striptease, which was about feeling fear that we are holding on to on a physical level, holding a space of compassion and allowing these fears by sharing in a group to transform into potential. Yeah, and what can I say? It has been an ongoing process, and it still is an ongoing process for me, of course, since I started diving into this when I was 18, on one side because I got interested in my heritage in Indian spirituality, culture, and tradition. But at the same time, as Austrian citizen, you have to do military or social service, and I ended up doing social service in the children's intensive care unit. of the town where I was living and was confronted with death, life, suffering, the Western medical system, and yeah, as I'm a sensitive being, yeah, I started really getting affected by what was happening there and started reflecting on, wow, that's not what feels right for me. It doesn't feel whole for me. There is something beyond that. And that started me off on my journey, exploring, experiencing, sharing, learning. At some point, I spent, for different periods of times, mm, beautiful time in monasteries in India, learning and experiencing the practice of bhakti yoga, which is devotional yoga, devotional service to God or to the universe, which still is the foundation of my existence, of my being. So that's what I'm here for, to dedicate my life to the unfolding of consciousness as good as I can.
Do you feel that living a location-free lifestyle contributes anything significant to the world at large? And if so, what would that be? What would that look like?
Yeah, being kind of free, not linked and bound to one specific place on the planet, definitely opens a lot of perspectives on life, because I feel being here in Ubud, yeah, it's kind of one bubble. Austria, where I used to live, is another bubble. I've been traveling to Singapore, it's another bubble. I spent time in India, and so all of these environments have their specific traditions, rules, regulations, more obvious but also more subtle. And traveling to different places just allows one to open up the horizon and receiving more perspectives on life, just to experience, feel, and realize, okay, things are possible in a very different way as well on this planet. Things happen, are experienced, felt very differently depending on where you are. And just knowing that there is no truth, no one specific truth, but there are endless many truths, yeah, that exist. That is definitely something that I learn more and more to the more and more places I travel. Like coming here, for example, having lived in Europe, as there are a lot of people from America here, I was kind of challenged by American attitude and vibration in some ways at the beginning, one of my challenges. But at the same time, after a while, I really learned so much from these perspectives, from these attitudes towards lifestyle. So that's definitely a gift that one can receive while visiting other parts of the planet. And I'm very blessed in that way, because Austria is very safe, it's very clean, very peaceful. But as a child, when I was 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, I traveled to Asia with my family to visit my relatives in India. And as a child, I already experienced, okay, Austria is not everything that exists, and India is like a whole nother universe. And so that was in my perception at that time already. So just to know that there is so much more which is also truth, and not just what I know, what I've experienced, and what I think is true.
Well, the first time I think I became aware of what you do, it was something totally different. I believe you were playing with fire.
Yes, that's very true.
How does
Yeah.
that dovetail into the healing arts that you do?
Yeah. So I play with fire, and of course I started it because my mother told me, don't play with fire. How should I say? It's just part of my nature. Like I have a lot of fire within me as an element, and it's very transformative, this element, fire. When I do my fire dance, it is also my devotional dance to Spirit, to God, to the universe. So I dedicate all of my fire dance as a dance to the universe. And then at the same time, this fire dance has developed from juggling, from something that is now called flow arts, which is also very much linked to becoming aware of your physical body, becoming aware of your movement, patterns of movement, becoming aware of the three-dimensional space around you. For me, these flow arts are very close to the practice of Tai Chi. So it becomes like allowing something external, in that case like the prop, which could be a staff, which could be poi, which could be a hula hoop, allowing this external prop to become part of your energy field, to move it and manipulate it in a way that it is just flows in alignment with your being. So in that way, it definitely is very much related to what I do, especially during the years when I was studying physiotherapy. I was practicing a lot of flow arts. It kind of balanced my whole system while studying so much. And then of course the element of fire, the element of transformation is something that is part of transformation, of healing, of unfolding.
And it really gets people's attention.
Oh yes, it definitely does. Yeah.
What advice, I have one last question. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to follow a similar path, whether it be healing arts or performing arts or taking off from what they feel is a safe place and moving out into the world?
Yeah, advice that I can give you from my perspective is try to feel inward and feel what your passion, what your heart is longing for. Try to become aware of in which parts of your lives you are following expectations, maybe of family, maybe of society, which are not aligned with your authenticity. Becoming aware of that is a first step, and then following up with that, letting go of how you think you need to be, how you think you should be, and then following your heart. You might have some challenges with that. I definitely had like big time challenges in my life with my family, and it was a big transformational process for me, but also for my parents, for my sister. We had some difficult times, but at the same time this transformational process allowed something new to open. So it not only was transformational for me, that I give myself permission to follow my heart, but at the same time my family also was transformed because they realized that they are here to support in which way they can my authenticity and not project their truth on me. And so in that way, now I feel very blessed after having overcome, gone through experience and felt these challenges. Right now, I have complete blessings and support from my family to follow who I am and to do what I'm doing. It's like very magical in a way, because as soon as I felt, okay, I'm aligned with what I'm supposed to do, I'm in tune with my inner truth, with my heart. As soon as that happens, the environment feels that as well. And in that way, the environment will just support you in that, because we are all here to blossom from our hearts.
Wonderful advice. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us today. And take care.
Oh, very much my pleasure. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best, blessings. And recently I just enjoyed to say hallelujah, everybody.